Hi, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a quick review on the Ruger SR1911 chambered in 45 ACP. If you like what you see, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, don't forget about the bell, and please leave a comment below. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, this gun came with two metal magazines, and Travis P11 was asking me the other day where the magazines were made. And right here, they're stamped made in the USA. So there you go, Travis. The metal mags for the Ruger that I bought, at least, came with two American-made metal magazines. The one right here is an 8-round magazine, and it's got the little black plastic pinky extension on it. And then the flush fit here, it's not labeled, but it's a 7-round magazine. I've only been able to fit 7 in it. So I'm assuming that the little extension piece gives you the extra round. It came with this handy dandy tool that looks kind of like a bottle opener. This is help you take the gun apart, and we'll go over that a little bit later in the video. Then of course it came with the gun, and we'll do a safety check while we're looking at it. The chamber is empty, and you can verify that by sticking your finger down there and make sure you don't feel anything. And also the magazine well is empty. Of course, it came with the booklet and the lock and box and different stuff like that. But now we've got the gun out, so let's go ahead and go over that. This is the Ruger SR1911. Like I said, this is chambered in 45 ACP, and it is the all stainless steel with the low finish. And it has the checkered wood grips, which, if anybody's talked to me or heard me say anything about the Ruger 1911 ever, these will be getting changed out to a set of blue lock grips, thanks Jesse B Outdoors. I saw the video he did on his Ruger, and he had some blue lock grips on it. And I told him when I saw the video I was going to steal his idea. So as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to order those. And that'll be the only thing that I change on this, just because I think it looks really cool, and blue's my favorite color. And with the muzzle pointed to the left, we'll be taking a look at the left side of the firearm to start with. And right along the slide, you can see it's printed with the Ruger stamp and made in the United States. Well, made in USA. You can see this first slat right here, and about halfway down the slide is going to be where the slide catch will go into to hold the slide open on the last shot, or if you're inspecting it or something like that, you can manually hold it open. And then on the back of the slide, it's got your basic serrations. There are no serrations on the front. And once again, this is the low sheen finish. I'm a painter, so I don't really remember. I think it's soft blasted chrome, is maybe what the instruction manual said. But anyway, it's a low shine. The top has just got your basic 3-dot sight set up. And I think it's pretty good. I've had a chance to fire it. And right away, I mean, aside from the fact that my accuracy is just impeccable, I was easy to stay on target. Not a whole lot of recoil. This is a heavy firearm. It's the 5-inch barrel, and it is pretty heavy. But you don't notice that once you start pulling the trigger. It's really smooth, easy action on the trigger, and very light on the recoil, at least in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and go back a little bit just before the serrations on the slide. You'll see the slide catch, and it operates pretty good. I've been told with 1911s, if there's not a round inside your magazine, don't drop the slide by doing that. Ease the slide back home manually. They say with 1911s, it's going to add more wear and tear to the gun. I don't know a whole lot about them, but some of the people that I've heard that from do know a whole lot about them, so I'll take their word for it. Then on the back of the gun, we have your manual thumb safety, which is pretty good. You can cock it, and it swipes pretty easy on and off with your thumb, and really a natural motion there. So it's pretty good. Then we've got the brown wood color, I guess you would call them, checkered grips with the nice Ruger logo in the middle, which I like quite a bit. Then you'll see the magazine release. There's no magazine in right now, but that's only on the left side of the gun. Then the trigger well is all stainless with the skeletonized curved trigger, which is a very nice trigger. We'll go over that just in a little bit. And if you go to the back of the gun, it's got the checkered back strap, and the trigger safety with the nice dovetail. It's a really good safety. I've tried to shoot it, well, not shoot it, but dry fire anyway, without touching the trigger safety, and it will not go off. At least I haven't been able to make it go off yet. And of course, like I said, it was dry fire, still using it in safe conditions. Then the dovetail coming off the back is a pretty good sweep. You can see that, you know, when I got a purchase on it, that it covers my hand completely, so you're not going to get slid bit. And you know, obviously that's not good if you get slid bit. Then we got the skeletonized hammer, which operates really nice, and you can decock it by pulling the trigger and pulling down. No, it's not going to work because I'm on camera. I wouldn't feel safe doing that. This is my first 1911, and I've fired them before, but I haven't really handled them quite as much as even a revolver. So I'd be cautious. Definitely keep the firearm pointed in the safe direction if you're going to try to manually decock that. And like I said, this is just my experience, so if you're professional with 1911s, you might be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, you know, just decock that thing. But anyway, just be safe about it. And one last thing on this side, you'll see another little notch right there, if I can get it in the camera. That's going to be your notch for your takedown, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and turn the gun around and check out the right side. Now the right side, and I'm going to cover up the serial number because one of my viewers told me that would be a good thing to do. We got the Ruger logo stamped on the slide, and then 45 Auto stamped on the barrel inside, which is a more of a high finished stainless than the slide and the rest of the gun. And then this little black dot just underneath the ejection port is going to be your slide stop remove. So when you go to take the gun down, we'll push that in, and it'll help in taking the gun apart. And that's about it for the aesthetics of the gun. So let's go ahead and break it down. And before we break it down, I forgot to show you the magazine. This is the 7-round flush fit mag that's in there. And as you can see, it fits really well. And they drop right out real easy. And the 8-round mag has a little pinky extension, and I don't really need that. My hand fits really good on just the standard grip. So for just looks purposes, if I'm going to be, you know, just looking at the gun, or if I'm going to show it to somebody or brag about it or take a picture of it, I do it with the flush fit mag. Just in my opinion, I think it looks better than this one. Nothing against it, just I think it looks better without it. So those are the mags. Just wanted to show those to you real quick. Now we'll go back to the disassembly. And let's just go over this real quick. I am not a firearms expert, and I'm definitely not a 1911 expert, but the model I have is the standard barrel with bushing. And you'll be able to see the little checkered spot right there underneath the muzzle. There are, as you could read, there's bull barrel, bushingless model, except officer style, and then whatever officer style model is, I guess that would be that one down here at the bottom. So those are just a couple of different examples. The one we're going to be going over today is the standard with the standard barrel with bushing. That's the one that I bought. And as you can see, give me your money because I'm pointing a gun at you. Anyway, as you can see, it's got the little checkered bushing underneath the muzzle. And go back to the nice tool that the people at Ruger sent me. So you go ahead and you push this on here and push in and give it a quarter turn. And I'll do that with the camera off just because it's kind of hard for me to film and do it at the same time. But that's the step that I'm going to take. So I'm going to push in with this. As you can see, it's lined up because it fits. I'll push in on the bushing. Maybe I can do it. There we go. And give it a quarter turn. Then you got to be careful because it is under spring pressure. So this is where I will take and pause the video real quick. Okay, and once you've got it turned, you can see that the barrel bushing has been turned. The spring will come out and slide to the very end. It won't come all the way out just yet, but the little cap will come off, so you can set that off to the side. Okay, it was bothering me, so I went and looked it up. This is called the recoil spring retainer. And then obviously there's the recoil spring. Okay, so once you've done that, your next step will be fully cock the hammer, so that way the slide can move. And then get back to that little notch that we were talking about, and the slide stop lever right there. When you line those two up, you could go back to your right side of your gun and push in on that little button. Now, let me try it again because it's got to be lined up correctly. Okay, so push it when it's lined up correctly, push it, and you can pull your slide stop completely out. And then once your slide stop lever is completely out, you can pull forward on the slide and completely remove it from your handle. Then set the handle off to the side. Now with the muzzle pointed to the left and the ejection point pointed to the ground, you can see the bottom of the gun, or the insides of the gun where the barrel and such are. Next thing you'll want to do is go ahead and remove your recoil spring. Then while it's out, you can inspect the guide and make sure that it's, you know, clean and in working order and snug like it's supposed to be. And then you'll see this little U shape in there. That's going to be important for reassembly. That U shape has to be lined up with your barrel properly or it won't go back together. And then we go back to the slide. Okay, now that you're back to your slide, you can go back to the muzzle and flip your barrel bushing or retainer, whatever. Go ahead and pull that completely out, and then your barrel will slide out of the end. So now it's completely disassembled. As far as I'm going to disassemble it, and then we'll go ahead and take a look down inside the handle well. And I shot this the other day, put 50 rounds through it with aluminum casing, so I need to clean it. So that's why it's a little mucky right now, so I didn't clean it yet. But that's basically the inside, and then we'll go ahead and put it back together. And before we put it back together, you can see down inside that little groove right here that my finger's covering. You can see it starts up there, and there's a little groove that's cut out in the slide. And then you'll see this little notch on the front of the barrel bushing. That's what holds it in place. So first thing you're going to want to do is get your barrel and put it in the right side of the gun would help. Seat it all the way to the back. Take your barrel bushing, put it back on with the opening, the little U-shaped opening, pointed away from you so the little notch can slide in the top. Then go ahead and slide it all the way back over to where the notch is facing you, and you can enter or reattach your spring with the U-shaped part pointed down onto the barrel. Yeah, real quick, this little spot right here, I don't know the name of it either, but it's got to be pushed all the way back. If not, the recoil spring guide won't go all the way back. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get it on and it doesn't look like it's far enough back, that this little doohickey right here needs to be all the way in the back. Before the end of the video, I'll find out what the doohickey's word is. Okay, I had to go look it up. This is apparently called the barrel link. So it makes sense because it links this stuff together. But anyway, back to the video. Then you put your slide back on top of your handle and line it up. And now it's all set and ready to go. Okay, once you've got your slide back on, you'll have to go back to that little notch again one more time and just rock it back. Go ahead and sit your slide stop back in. Trying to do this and look at the camera at the same time. Okay, sorry about that, but trust me, you put it on there the right way and it'll go on properly. Then you find your little notch one more time, push the slide stop completely in, and it's ready. Okay, full disclosure, I had to put you on pause for a couple minutes because it wasn't lining up. What happened was my barrel bushing was bent down and it was catching on the spring, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I just happened to move it with my finger and noticed that that was the problem. So yes, I cheated a little bit. I put you on pause because I was getting whooped. Okay, and then when your next step would be take with your just regular pressure and get your recoil spring cover, and you can push it down in there manually, and then with your fingers just move the barrel bushing. I'm trying to do this on camera and it's not that easy. And you can move the barrel bushing just enough to hold it in place, so you can get back to your tool, and you can push down and put the bushing back into the position that it's supposed to be in, straight up and forward. And then we'll do a function check, and there we go. That's the disassembly and reassembly. Do yourself a favor and watch somebody who's better at that kind of stuff if you want to learn how to take it apart. I didn't do too good with you that time, so next thing we'll do is look over the trigger. This is not double action. You can't pull the trigger and make the hammer go, but you can drop the hammer and pull the trigger, and the action can ride, and then you can pull the trigger. And also, if the magazine is out, the trigger will still go, so be cautious of that. Some guns, when you drop the magazine, you can't pull the trigger. This one you can. So let's go ahead and look at the trigger from single action and see what we think. Not a whole lot of pressure, not a whole lot of movement at all. And then from the reset, there's the click. And then once again, a really smooth trigger, really easy to get rapid fire shots off and still stay on target. Like I said earlier, I'm an expert marksman, and you know, I don't really show a lot of my range videos because I don't want to make everybody jealous. But even for me, this is a really smooth trigger, easy to stay on target with, and I'm in love. I absolutely love Ruger. I absolutely love the 1911, so I had to get one. And thank you everybody for watching. Leave some comments in the comment section below, and I'll do what I can to respond to them. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you liked the video.